Iracing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. Iracing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Iracing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, Iracing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. Iracing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. Iracing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome to the final night of the FKAU Down Under Graphics World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Series. Tonight we visit the Eldora Speedway, where we finish off this 3-month, 12 weeks of racing as the drivers get set for qualifying right now. A bit of a different format I'll explain to you guys after the time trials are complete. Coming out, well, one of the first cars out in the Synergy Sim Racing, car number 88, it's Brenton Hobson. Brenton Hobson in car number 88, first lap time for him is a 14.898. Next car on the racetrack in the Visual Exposure Motorsports, car number 98, it's Stephen Williams. Stephen Williams first lap with a 15.053. And those two cars are on the racetrack at the moment. Second lap for Hobson will not be a timed lap. And Stephen Williams, he will not have a timed lap as well. So a big night of racing coming up. Just 8 points separating your points leader Joel Berkeley and second place teammate Josh Harm. Everything is at its boiling point tonight. Coming out in the Jack Links Australian off-plaster Master, car number 71, it's Gavin Sadler. And in car number 500, it's George Fullerton. Also in the Jack Links Australian off-plaster Master as well. First lap for Gavin Sadler is a 15.011, a 15.011, second quick for Gavin Sadler. George Fullerton, fourth quick with a 15.207. Second lap for Sadler is a 14.950. And George Fullerton, no second lap. So the next couple of cars to come out in the Visual Exposure Motorsports. Car number 41, it's James Robbie. James Robbie in car number 41. And also out on the racetrack in the Triple J Motorsports, Down Under Graphics, Ash Media Speedway footage. Car number 3, it's Jared Ash. James Robbie be the first driver to take a time out of these two guys. And it's third quick with a 14.991. A 14.991. Jared Ash quick time with a 14.729. Second lap for James Robbie is a 15.059. Crash coasting across the line, so there'll be no lap time taken for him. In the GSR, the Gavin Sadler Racing, Lucas Oils Australia, car number 7, Trent Gosley. And also out in the sketchy graphics, MMCR Max Meadows Crash Repairs, car number 24, Sean O'Hara. Trent Gosley with a 14.986. Sean O'Hara with a 15.084. Second lap for Gosley is a 14.893. And Sean O'Hara, no lap time taken. So Gosley goes to second quick, but Jared Ash still the driver to beat here in the time trials at the moment. Coming out in the JSR, John Schultz Racing Northbridge slots, car number 69, it's John Schultz. Also out on the racetrack in the sketchy graphics, Max Meadows Crash Repairs, car number 117, it's Brett Gerards. Brett Gerards in car number 117. Also joined with John Schultz in car number 69. First lap for John Schultz is a 15.1 flat, a 15.100. Gerards with a 14.946, a 14.936 I should say. And John Schultz's second lap is a 15.108. Second lap for Gerards is slow with a 15.014. And I'll go through the point standings at the moment, after this one. Coming out in the Filthy Minds Racing, Deadhead Worm Paints, car number 55, it's Marcus Konieczka. Marcus Konieczka in car number 55. Joining him on the racetrack in the GSR, the Gavin Sadler Racing, Lucas Oils Australia, car number 911, Lachlan Smith. Konieczka 6th quick with a 14.963. Lachlan Smith 8th quick with a 15.011. Second lap for Marcus Konieczka, it's a 9.69. And Lachlan Smith is a 14.769 second quick. Coming out in the Dynamic Sim Racing X-Ray Thigh Designs, car number 22, Ryan Harris. Ryan Harris in car number 22. Also joining him on the Speedway in the Triple J Motorsports, down under graphics, Ash Media Speedway footage, car number 5, it's James Rice. In fact, JR Productions and Media and the Borderline Speedway entry of James Rice. Ryan Harris, 14.799. A 14.799. James Rice with a 14.755. 14.755. Second quick for Ricey. Fourth quick for Harris. And Harris with a 14.820, slower. Can Rice go quicker than a 7.55? No, it's a 7.87. So still second quick for James Rice. Next on the racetrack, in the Filthy Minds Racing Deadhead Worm Paints, car number 25, it's Nathan Clark. Nathan Clark in car number 25, and in the Triple J Motorsports, down under graphics, Ash Media Speedway footage, car number 8 is Josh Harm. Nathan Clark with a 14.869. And Josh Harm, quick time with a 14.648. A 14.648. Can Nathan Clark, can he go quicker than a 14.869? He does with a 14.707. And Josh Harm, no lap time taken on his second lap. And the last car to come out in tonight's qualifying, the Down Under Graphics World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Models here at the Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio, in car number 9. In the Triple J Motorsports, Down Under Graphics, Ash Media Speedway footage, it's your championship leader, Joel Berkeley. The last car for qualifying here, the final lap, and it goes to the championship leader. Second quick with a 14.668. A 14.668. What can Berkeley do on lap number 2? He's undefeated here in the late models at Eldora. Pulls the car up with a 15.028. So, that gives Josh Harm tonight's quick time award. 14.648. Second was Joel Berkeley. Third was Nathan Clark. Fourth was Jared Ash. Fifth to James Rice. Sixth, Lachlan Smith. Ryan Harris. Seventh, Trent Gosley. Eighth, Brenton Hobson. Ninth, Brett Gerards. 10, Gavin Sadler. 11, Marcus Kaniska. 12, 13th, James Robbie. 14th, Stephen Williams. Sean O'Hara. 15th, John Schultz. 16th and 17th is George Fullerton. We get set. We'll have a chat with Josh Harm here in just a second. And talking with Josh Harm. Josh, congratulations on another quick time award here in the World of Outlaw series.
Oh, thanks, Brett.
It's going to be a tough night. I believe you guys are going to be coming, well, you and Joel are going to be coming from the back. Is that correct?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's all coming down to this final race. Obviously, 8 points just separating, so that's 4 positions. We've got 17 cars. I mean, there's still a chance that you can, win the championship.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Only thing I can really hope for is a lot of bad luck for Joel. It's not a nice thing to say, but I want to win. So.
Look, it's certainly going to be an entertaining night, that's for sure, with you guys coming from the back. But look, I'm sure you got some sponsors you want to thank.
Definitely. There's Triple J Motorsports, Ash Media, Down Under Graphics. Yeah, I think that's it.
Good luck for the rest of the night, and good luck for the championship.
Thank you.
That was Josh Harm taking out yet another quick time award. And as I said before, just the 2 drivers. And in fact, here's a stat for you. 4 wins to Joel Berkeley in the season. I believe all 4 have been at Eldora. He's had 3 second place and 3 third place finishes as well. Sorry, 4 second place finishes. As we get set. Set for just a little 5-lap fun run. We'll go through the format after this race. We'll let you guys enjoy the show as they come off turn number 4. A little 5-lap fun race just for nothing, just to get the drivers' times rolled over to their respective heat races. Alright, and the little 5-lap race will go through tonight's proceedings. Alright, so normally what we see with the World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Series, we have obviously our hot laps, which you wouldn't have seen. Time trials, as Gavin Saddle likes to call them. They will be, well, they've already been done. Up next on the program will be our heat races. Okay, there's just the 1 round of heat, so they'll be split into 2 groups. So we've got 17. So we've got an 8-car field and a 9-car field. They get run at the same time, so we only cover one of those. After that, normally we run a second round of heats, but what the format is for tonight, instead of running that second round of heats, they're going to we're going to run a pole shuffle to determine the full grid. So obviously, starting from position 17 and 16, they race off, and then we set our grid that way rather than running 2 rounds of heats and a 10-car pole shuffle. So a little bit of a different format for tonight, but as you heard, Josh Harm, I believe that Josh Harm and Joel Berkeley, they are sitting 1-2 in the points. They've got a fair gap from third place, who I believe is Nathan Clark. So then we'll obviously, after the time trials and getting the guys into their correct slots for all the starting positions, I should say, then we'll get into an A main, which will be 100 laps around the Eldora Speedway. And thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. So 1 round of heats, a full car, a full field at pole shuffle, and then the main event to come. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side of this will be the first or the last heat race of the series. You're watching World TV. This is the FKAU Down Under Graphics Australian Speedway World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Models.
Introducing a whole new form of racing to the best online racing simulation in the world. This is Dirt Racing on Iracing.com. Race online at some of America's most legendary dirt tracks, including Eldora and Williams Grove. iRacing is the premier online racing game featuring NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, and now World of Outlaws, the leading sanctioning body for dirt racing. iRacing is easy to use and features a centralized ranking system to make sure you have the best experience at any skill level. With a massive inventory of high-precision laser scan tracks and cars with an unmatched dedication to quality and detail, iRacing gives you the most authentic online racing experience available. Thanks to iRacing's dynamic track system, developed specifically for dirt racing, tracks change over the course of a race, just like your favorite dirt track on a Friday or Saturday night. From a slick racing groove all the way up to the cushion, iRacing's dirt tracks deliver non-stop racing action. Partnered with the World of Outlaws, iRacing is your source for the most authentic dirt racing experience available, featuring 4 brand new tracks and 11 new cars, including street stocks, Legends cars, late models, NASCAR trucks, winged and non-winged sprint cars, with much more on the way. Join the Dirt Revolution on iRacing.com and start slinging mud today.
Get ready, going green. Green, green, green!
We get set for the final heat race of the Down Under Graphics World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Series. Starting on the pole of heat race number 2 in car number 9, the championship leader is Joel Berkeley. To his outside in car number 3, it's Jared Ash. At a position number 3 in the 911, it's going to be Lachlan Smith lining up alongside him, a teammate in car number 7, it's Trent Gosley. At a position 5 in the 55, it's going to be Marcus Knitska. To his outside in car number 98, it's Stephen Williams. And riding shotgun at the back in car number 69, it's John Schultz. Final time you'll see the World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Models here for the series. Presented by the FKAU Australian Speedway League and also Down Under Graphics. 2 team cars on the front row, 2 team cars in row 2. We get set for the final 10 laps of the series for heat racing action. Berkeley gets a good jump on the number 3, Jared Ash. In fact, Jared Ash tries to cross it back underneath him now. Berkeley down the back straight away leads into turn number 3 and 4. Jared Ash getting into the wall. In fact, staying up there, and right now he finally gets off the wall. Now here comes the 911 of Lachlan Smith. To the outsiders, Gavin Sadler. The teammate's going to run side by side. In fact, Gosley clobbered the wall down the back straight away. Here comes Knitska. Battle for the race leaders on. Berkeley on the top side. Smith on the low side in 1 and 2. Side by side battle for second between Knitska and also Gosley. They're going to run side by side to the top 4 cars. Battling for positions at the moment. Berkeley continues to lead lap number 3. 3 down, 7 to go. In fact, Berkeley getting into the wall down the back straight away. He goes back to the top shelf in turn number 3 and 4. Jared Ash stopping to a halt in turns 3 and 4. Maybe actually be pulling that one into the pits. Smith continues to work on the low side of the speedway at the moment. He started on the second row. He's up to second. Smith goes to the top side in 1 and 2. Trying to get some momentum as they go down into 3 and 4. Knitska not that far off him. New race leader off turn number 4, but we're going to give that lap to Joel Berkeley by, man, not a lot in that one. 0.020. So the 9 and the 911. They're going to run still side by side. In fact, Berkeley pulls away by a couple of car lengths down the front straight away. Into 3 and 4. Oh, Smith to the inside wall. And wow, Knitska has to check up. Gosley into the wall as well. Wow, that's a big break there for Joel Berkeley. But here comes Knitska. Knitska on the outside of the 911. Battle raging on for the minor placings. Knitska works the top side. 1 to go for your race leader. Knitska takes over second down the back straight over. You know, Smith has been fast. On the low side in 3 and 4 as they come off turn number 4. It's going to be Joel Berkeley to get the win. Second will go to Lachlan Smith.
Sorry about that, Marcus. Thanks for...
Third will be Marcus Knitska. Fourth, Trent Gosley. Fifth, Stephen Williams, John Schultz. Sixth, and Jared Ash finishing 7 laps down, finishing in 7th place. We'll have a chat with Joel Berkeley. And talking about the Heat 2 winner, championship leader, Joel, congratulations on picking up the final heat race of the series.
Oh, thank you, Brett.
I asked Tommy before, you guys going to come from the back in the feature?
As far as I'm aware, we are, but yeah, that's not up to.
Well, look, you've been fairly unbeatable here in the late models at Eldora. When we've picked up, I think, 4 of your wins now throughout the series. So 100 laps, you've got to get through some cars, but it should be some good fun racing.
I think this Eldora's the only place I've won this season, unfortunately. But so be it. If you're going to win somewhere, you better win at the track that's got the most races there in the season. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a pain getting through a lot of traffic. So hopefully we can get a fair few decent green flag laps in, and yeah, be right.
What's the mindset now going in? Because, I mean, regardless of, I don't think you guys are going to run you and Harmy, I don't think it'll be pointless for you guys to run the pole shuffle. But what's the mindset now knowing that there's 100 laps separating you and the championship?
Nothing really. I don't want to not win, so I'm just going to do it or try and win. If I don't win and I finish second or so be it, but I'll throw everything at it. I'm sure Josh will as well.
Look, certainly going to be a race for the ages, and look, well done on a spectacular series so far. I'm sure we'll talk to you at the end of the night, but why don't you thanks to the sponsor before we let you go?
Yeah, hopefully, Brett. Massive thanks to Triple J Motorsports, down to Graphics and Ash Media.
All right, good luck, mate.
Thank you.
We have Joel Berkeley taking out heat race number 2, and we're just going to wait on the results for the other heat, and we'll get straight in to our full field pole shuffle. Yes, full field, 17 cars going to do battle in a pole shuffle, 2 cars at a time, and it'll be 2 laps. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with our pole shuffle up next here.
I actually, really enjoy dirt racing. Feels good to get in the car, and we have, great cars and engines and things at KKR. So it's nice to drive a fast sprint car.
Couple of separate lines developing, 3 wide action on a turn 2. Craig Kitzer, Casey Kane, and Garrett Pittman going at it.
I think the differences between, NASCAR and the sprint races on dirt is just a much different mindset. The way you drive your cars, the setup, the feel you're looking for. I think one of the hardest things to tell as a fan is when you're watching a race, whether it's a NASCAR race, a dirt race, is just what's really going on in the car. With Iracing, you can get the way that the track's changing, which they've done a great job in how the track changes throughout the night or throughout the race, just to try to capture it and let the fans play it and realize, like, man, there's actually a lot going on, and you can't always see that when you watch a race. So I think it's pretty neat. It's, enjoyable for me, but at the end of the day, it's actually much of a simulation, and there's a lot of ways that you can learn from that. And early on, it was neat to look at the Cup tracks that I was going to, places that I had never been. So I think it kind of gives you a head start leading into a weekend. It's pretty real life, and that's pretty neat.
Iracing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
It's pole shuffle time. And the first two cars on the outside in caliber 500, it's George Fullerton. On his inside, in caliber 41, it's James Robbie. James Robbie in caliber 41, George Fullerton in the 500. 2 laps, winner stays on. And James Robbie leads down into 3 and 4 by a fairly big margin. In fact, half the length of the front stretch straight away. 1 lap to go for James Robbie. Into 3 and 4. Pole shuffle number 1 is complete. James Robbie will advance. And it'll be George Fullerton at the back of the bus. James Robbie comes to a stop on the backstretch. And out rolls the number 69 in the JSR. John Schultz Racing Northbridge slots. It's John Schultz. John Schultz having a lane choice and choosing the inside line. Green is out, and Schultz and Robbie fire off down into turn number 1 and 2. James Robbie takes the lead down the back straight away. At the Big E, the half mile. High banking, 1 down, 1 to go. Schultz trying to come back on the inside of James Robbie. Down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Can Schultz do anything with this one? No, he can't. James Robbie will advance. John Schultz will go back to pit lane. And out rolls the driver of caliber 24. It's Sean O'Hara. Sean O'Hara in caliber 24. In fact, Sean, I believe, sitting inside of the top 10 for the championship. So another 2 laps to come up. Yeah, for James Robbie and Sean O'Hara. 2 laps, winner stays on the track and will continue to take on the rest of the field. Beautiful start and a beautiful move there by James Robbie in turn number 1 and 2. But Sean O'Hara tries to fight back in turn number 3 and 4. Pulls real up close to the back bumper of the 41. But James Robbie keeping that 41 nice and straight in turns 3 and 4. He will continue on to take names in the pole shuffle. So out rolls one of the series admins. In caliber 71, it's Gavin Sadler. Gavin Sadler had an up and down season with the late models. And we get ready to go green, and we are green. Sadler and Robbie drive down into turn number 1. Robbie continues to work the low side. Sadler gets up above the cushion. Hits the wall, and he's lost a lot of momentum and a lot of ground on the 41. James Robbie, he is just taking names for a living right now. Half a lap to go here at Eldora Speedway. Off turn number 4, the checkers will be thrown. James Robbie will advance yet another position. And for Gavin Sadler, we'll be starting somewhere towards the back in row 6 or 7. Oh, out rolls a teammate of the 41 in car number 98. It's Stephen Williams. Stephen Williams and James Robbie Two team cars as we come off turn number 4. We are green and down the front straight away. It's James Robbie who leads, but here comes Stephen Williams trying to fight back on the top side of the racetrack. Into turn number 3 and 4. It's Robbie who led the opening lap, but he's got company right now from the 98. Oh, contact with the wall for Stephen Williams. James Robbie gets underneath him now in turn 3 and 4. In fact, oh, what a race, and James Robbie. James Robbie will advance the 98 of Stephen Williams. Will also find himself writing his name and punching his ticket into tonight's main event from the back. So out rolls the 55 of Marcus Knitska. And we are racing down into 1 and 2. Knitska in the 55. Robbie in the 41. The low side looks like that's where the grip is at the moment on the racetrack. Knitska trying to get underneath now Robbie. Down the back straight away for the final time. Can James Robbie hang on? He's got some momentum up the top, and well, that's too close to call. Last time I tried to call one of these, and it looks like well, I'm not going to say who's who on that one. Will it be James? James Robbie continues on. Marcus Knitska to the back in that one. Out rolls Jared Ash in car number 3. Green is out. Can Jared Ash be the one to stop James Robbie? Into 1 and off turn number 2. It's going to be Jared Ash who's leading the way at the moment. One lap to go. Can the streak finally be broken here against James Robbie? He's going to fight back on the inside. Into turn number 3 and 4. It's going to be Jared Ash who gets the win. And there we have it. James Robbie will finally get sent back to the pits. Out rolls the driver of car number 88 is Brenton Hobson. Brenton Hobson in car number 88. Hobson to the top side of the racetrack. Jared Ash using the low side, the more favoured line, I feel, here at the Eldora Speedway. In fact, both drivers going to be venturing up the top off turn number 4. That one down, and 2 laps to go here for Jared Ash. Into 3 and 4. Ash, one last ditch at it. No. Brendan Hobson will take that one. So we get into the pointy end of the pole shuffle. And coming out is the driver 7th highest in points is Trent Gosley. Gosley on the inside in the red car, and Brenton Hobson in the black, white, and purple machine on the outside. We are green. Gosley with a good launch on the low side of turn number 1 and 2. But it's Hobson who leads down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Side by side at the line. Give it to Brenton Hobson from the naked eye. Down into 3. One last ditch effort here from Trent Gosley, but not going to be having enough. And the 7 car will be starting on the third drive, I believe. I think that was for position 6 if Josh Harm and Joel Berkeley start from the back. And out rolls the 22 of Ryan Harris. Ryan Harris and Brenton Hobson. So the 22 and the 88. So we are green here. What could be the 5th last pole shuffle of the night. As Harris now trying to come back on the inside of Hobson. Off turn 4, it's going to be Hobson who leads the opening lap. Down the back straight away. Hobson continuing to lead here in the late models. Off turn 4, give it to Hobson. And, well, that's going to bring up the number 25 of Nathan Clark. Your 5th highest point scorer for tonight's pole shuffle. And that's including Josh Harm and Joel Berkeley. And we are green. Hobson Clark. Slide job from Hobson and Clark with a nice crossover move. On the 88, down into 3 and 4, and well, there's contact made. Both cars got very, very loose. Half a lap to go. It's Clark still leading from Hobson. And Clark will pick up the win here in this pole shuffle, putting Brenton Hobson to the pit lane. And on the racetrack in the 911, it's Lachlan Smith. Lachlan Smith in the 911. Green flag already being displayed, and Smith and Clark may have just had slight contact there from a Clark into the back bumper of the 911 Lachlan Smith. Right, down for the final time into turn number 3, off turn number 4. And we get the checkers out. So out rolls the driver of car number 5. He's James Rice. James Rice in car number 5. Rice on the outside of Lachlan Smith. Rice has the momentum down into turn number 3. They come off turn number 4. Smith right there with him. Man, that was too close to call right now. But it's Rice to have the advantage down the back straight away. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. It's gonna be Rice gets the outside, I believe. I believe that these two drivers may have been the potentially 2 last cars for pole shuffle. I'll get it right. But no, out rolls the driver of car number 9 of Joel Berkeley. So Berkeley on the top side, Rice on the low side. We get set for a launch and we're off underway. Second last pole shuffle of the series. As Berkeley has the lead coming off turn number 2. Berkeley will lead the opening lap. Rice not going away just yet. Continue work on the low side of the speedway. Into 3 and 4. It's going to be Joel Berkeley picking up the win from James Rice.
Fuller in.
Well, what a fitting way for these drivers. These two cars on the racetrack. Just 8 points separating your championship leader, and that's car number 9, Joel Berkeley. 8 points. Car number 8, Josh Harm in second place. Berkeley has not been defeated here at Eldora Speedway in a feature event in this series. Final green on the final pole shuffle of the night. Down into 1 they go. Berkeley on the low side. This time Harm has got a lot of momentum on the top side. Almost contact there from Berkeley. Trying to throw the big Hail Mary slide job in 3 and 4. 2 car lengths make that 3 as Harm starts to drive away and he goes to the low side to project the slide job. And whoa, you know it's going to be a big race with 100 laps on the board, and Josh Harm will be starting on the pole for the main event. So that will conclude the pole shuffle, the full field. The lineups have been set. Now we take one last break. We get after it 100 laps on the other side of this one.
Hey guys, Christopher Bell here. As you guys know, Iracing is coming out with dirt, and it's been a long time coming. So I'm here today to kind of show you around the sprint cars and hopefully give you some insight for whenever you first drive it. So here we are at Williams Grove, gonna go out and make a couple laps in the 410 wing sprint car. I'm on default setup with a gear change to a 522. As we roll out of the pits, you guys might notice that the car wants to pull left and you have to hold the steering wheel right to go straight. That's normal for a sprint car because you have so much stagger, it's always trying to turn the car left. Once you get up to speed, that goes away. Going down the straightaways, Williams Grove has really long straightaways and really tight corners. The big wings on the sprint cars, it always wants to pull you left into the corner, so it doesn't take much steering wheel input to get the car into the corner. A big key for the wing sprint cars is that they always like to go straight. They don't like to be too sideways. So the less steering wheel input you can have and the straighter you can keep the car, the faster you'll go. As the track slickens off, you'll be able to play with the setup to get the car driving even straighter yet. And that's a couple laps around Williams Grove. So here we are at Eldora Speedway. I'm on baseline setup with a gear change to a 511. As we roll out at Eldora Speedway, one thing that you'll notice is that the corners are really sweeping and it's almost a circular shape. The big thing about Eldora is just keeping that steering wheel straight. The straighter you keep the wheel and the less steering input that you give the car, the faster you'll go. The fast line around Eldora will be right around the inside wall in the corners and then with a big arc towards the outside walls down the straightaways. Then once the track slicks off, you'll be able to follow the groove up towards the outside wall, where the famous Eldora High Line comes into play. So now we're at Volusia Speedway Park with the 410 wing sprint car. I'm on baseline setup with a 511 gear, the same as what we ran at Eldora. Whenever you roll out on the racetrack, you'll notice that Volusia is similar to Eldora. They have long sweeping corners, and it's kind of circular in shape. At Volusia, whenever the track is fast, you'll want to be right down against the concrete wall in the corners with a nice big arc down the straightaway. Whenever the track starts to slicken up, you'll be able to follow the groove up higher and higher. Whenever you get into turns 3 and 4 though, the groove might get up onto the shelf, which is the flatter section of the racetrack, and then it becomes very difficult to exit turn 4 without getting into the wall. And that's just one of the characteristics of Volusia Speedway Park. Hope you guys have fun.
Look at the sky.
We are now set for the final race of the Down Under Graphics World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Series. Yes, it's been a long and grueling 12 weeks. We've seen 3 or 4 different winners over the series, I believe. It all comes down to this, 8 points between the leader and second place. Yes, it's a matter of 4 positions. Would be a tie. If Josh Harm was to get up and take the championship, he must win or finish 5 spots clear of Joel Berkeley. Speaking of those 2 drivers, lining up on row number 1 on the outside, on the inside in car number 8 is Josh Harm to his outside, car number 9 of Joel Berkeley. Row number 2 on the inside in the 5 is James Ruffle, alongside him is Lachlan Smith. Out of position 5 is the 25 of Nathan Clark, and out of position 6 is the 88 of Brendan Hobson. The 22 of Ryan Harris starts 7. The 7 of Trent Gosley starts 8. 9th will be occupied by the 3 of Jared Ash. 10th in the 41, James Robbie. Marcus Kinitsky in 11th in the 55. 98 of Stephen Williams starts 12. Gavin Sadler and Sean O'Hara line up on row 7. Row 8 is John Schultz and George Fullerton. This is it. 100 laps the distance here around Eldora Speedway. 16 cars. Who will win the championship? It comes down to the final race of this series. Berkeley on the outside, Harmy on the low side. A lot of the drivers still side by side in formation. First caution of the night comes out. We have a look at the start, but this time we'll keep an eye on the 500 of George Fullerton. I think may have been caught up in somebody else. No, he just spins the car and, well, you see just here, just coming right through the slick, and he goes to correct it and hits the wall, and John Schultz comes through, and that brings on our first caution of the event. Something we've seen all too much over the main events. I believe, in fact, we've had 1 race go green to check, but that's because the yellow was mistakenly left off. It's just a rare occasion that the admins have made a mistake, and let me tell you, over the past 12 weeks, they've done a phenomenal job, not only in the World of Outlaws late models, but also the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series as well, where you'll see a lot of these drivers come back to the Eldora Speedway in the sprint cars on Thursday night at 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Times. So the lights are out on the Iracing official pace truck. We get set to resume with 4 laps complete. Yes, yellow flag laps do count on the Iracing simulation service. We get set to go green, and this is something that Josh Harm needs to think about, because it's a long way from winning this championship or finishing second. He needs that 9 car to fall back quite a few spots. But at the moment, it's a Triple J Motorsports podium 1, 2, and 3. Brendan Hobson in 4th, followed there by Lachlan Smith. Here comes Ryan Harris. 3 wide, if you don't mind. Harris got into the side of Lachlan Smith, and, well, they're still beating and banging on each other as they go into turn number 3 and 4. Here comes James Robbie on the inside, finding himself a solid top 10 driver ever since the pole shuffle. That 41 car, he's been glued to the low side. Smith now under pressure from the 41. Cars still banging and beating on each other. Well, there's our... We'll have a look and see what happened here. As looking on the replay, we'll get any different camera angle. And, well, it all started in turns 3 and 4. Trent Gosley just getting the wall in turns 3 and 4, and, well, it's just a bit of a racing deal. Kanitska had a run on the low side, and, well, that's racing, unfortunately. Gosley pulls it up. Now pulling it to the infield, and he is done for this evening. Lights are still on the pace track as it enters turn number 1 and 2. Once again, a second caution of the night. Lights will go off the pace track next time. Yes, they run single file restarts in the World of Outlaws, Craftsman, Sprint Cars, and Late Model Series. In fact, I'll find out how many different winners we've actually had over the They are positions 3, 4, and 5 in the championship. We get set to go back underway. 11 laps down, 89 remain here at Eldora Speedway. Speaking of Harrison, Clark, and also Smith, there's your 3 drivers right there on screen. Clark in the 25, Harris in the 22, and Smith in the 911. Even if they were to finish like that, it would be 3rd place in the championship. 12 points separating Harris and Clark. And that's 12 points, so it's 6. Oh, Smith gets into the left rear of Harris. He does well to keep it straight, and I tell you what, that could have been costly for the final spot on the championship positions. And well, almost a battle there for 2nd place as James Rice. He looked to the inside of the 9, Joel Berkeley. Into 1 and 2 they go. James Rice doing a fantastic job in 3rd. In fact, how about Jared Ash as well? Coming through the field. Picked up. Already he's picked up. He's only picked up 1 spot at the moment, so. And the driver so far that's picked up the most spots is John Schultz. He's picked up 4 for the time being. Brenton Hobson's also picked up 2 positions in this one, in the opening 18 laps now. They're almost coming up to, well, we've had 18% of the race complete. So battle going on still for the minor placings. At the moment, Brenton Hobson not too far away from the 5 of James Rice, but Clark and Harris continue to do battle side by side. Nathan Clark hanging on to the 5th spot onto the racetrack, and one of these drivers utilising the top side of the racetrack. We look at our leader, Josh Arm, who started to pull away. Now remember, he has to win by 5 positions or more to win the championship. 4 positions if he wants to tie the championship lead up. So that rests solely on the shoulders of John Berkeley, whether or not that will happen. And at the moment, he is just in cruise control mode, pulling away from the 5 of James Rice. Speaking of James Rice, he's having pressure here put on him by the 88 of Brenton Hobson. First time we've seen Brenton Hobson, first or second time. Seen late model, we've seen him in a late model. And as I say that, we'll have a look. Just having a look at the replay here, not sure what happened to James Rice. Well, you're watching a replay as James Rice got into the wall and Clark got him, and they're back live now. And in fact, there's the number 5 of James Rice. He's fallen back to 7th place at the moment. Hobson gets the wall in 1 and 2. That allows Harris to go on by. Oh, George Fulton into the wall. Gets the car going. Underpower, he stays to the top side of the raceway. Harris gets on by, and now here comes Hobson. Hobson trying to thread the needle as he goes to the low side. In 3 and 4, that's going to allow the 911 of Lachlan Smith. So Fullerton trying to stay out of the way, trying to let the guys on the lead lap just go about and do their thing. Jared Ash back to 8th in the number 3. So we are 30 laps complete and 17 laps remain. So we'll spend a couple of laps on board with your race leader. And in fact, he's gone to the low side in 3 and 4. We'll just let you listen on how these late models roll around the Eldora Speedway. We're on board with the 2nd place runner of Joel Berkeley. So that's the distance at the moment. As we look out the left rear side of Josh Harm. In fact, putting another lap down on George Fullerton. The 37 laps complete at the moment. As George Fullerton takes his car back into the pits. James Rush putting pressure on the 88. Oh, Brenton Hobson, your battle for 6th and 7th at the moment. So Lachlan Smith doing a nice job in the 911. Holding on to position at 4. And you got Nathan Clark in the 25. Running out the top 5 at the moment with 40 laps down, 40 laps complete. We see our 3rd caution of the night, and well, this just bunches the field back up. So that advantage that Josh Harm had over Joel Berkeley now evaporates as they look to catch up to the pace truck, and we'll see if John Schultz was involved in this one. Oh, in fact, it was James Robbie. This is a replay. You're watching a replay here of James Robbie on the outside, Marcus Konitska. In fact, we'll just pause it just here, and we're going to a far chase view. Now, this is normal motion. He goes to the low side, and while just a little bit of contact there, looking like maybe a little bit of net code here. You can see Jared Ash just getting the wall. James Robbie goes to go to the low side, and while Konitska's there, it's a bit of a deal, bit of a racing incident. You can see James Robbie trying to already duck to the low side down the back straightaway. By the time he gets there, in fact, looks like a little bit of a netcode issue there, and the 41 gets turned by the 55. Would have been good but it's just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Gavin sadly got him along with John Schultz, and well, that was very interesting because those leaders were right there in the thick of things. So the lights are out on the pace truck in perfect timing. We get set to go back under 44 laps complete. 56 remain. So now with the field bunched back up, should hopefully see some good side-by-side battle. Looks to be a top and a bottom here at Eldora. The top 4, in fact, running the top side. Speedway top 5, Brendan Hobson, the first car to venture down low, but now here comes Lachlan Smith trying to get to the low side and get the run off turn number 4. Top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4 is where some of these guys are running. But look at the 22 here of Ryan Harris. In fact, one of the many drivers doing double duty in the World of Outlaws, both sprint cars and a late model series. In fact, he's had a fairly decent run throughout the series as Ryan Harris in both late models and sprint cars. So he's putting that DSR Dynamic Sim Racing number 22 towards the front nearly every week. Well, as I say that, I have to give him a wrap. He's into the wall in turns 1 and 2. Battle going on for the race lead. This is what we want to see. The 2 championship leaders are going at it. The 2 championship points runners. Berkeley on the low side in the red. And in the teal on the top side is Josh Hahn. They run side by side. We are officially halfway to the finish. 50 down, 50 laps to go. Oh, Berkeley into the wall, and well, got out of the gas, got off the wall, and gets back in it in turn 3 and 4. You don't want to be throwing your waste array. And here comes Harris in the 22. Slowly chipping away at Joel Berkeley. Lachlan Smith in the 11. You're back to Nathan Clark in the 25. Jared Ash and James Rice. In fact, Jared Ash, Marcus Knitska, then James Rice, Stephen Williams, John Schultz, James Robbie, Gavin Sadler. And back to your front runner, Josh Harm. And caution is out again.
You need to take a drink or you alright?
Could have been for the 88. No, Brendan Hobson. We're just trying to have a look here and see what happened. And oh, it all started from this running right through the middle, and Ricey just cuts down the racetrack. Doesn't realise Brendan Hobson's there, and well, there's some damage on the 88. He tries to pull it up safely and not bring out a caution, but Sean O'Hara and John Schultz are both out of this one. The lights go off on the pace truck. It's still Josh Arm to lead away from Joel Berkeley. Ryan Harris, who's picked up 4 spots. Lachlan Smith, Nathan Clark, Jared Ash, he's picked up 3 positions. Marcus Knitska picked up 4. James Rice, Stephen Williams, and Gavin Sadler. James Robbie and John Schultz is already out of this one. It'll be 57 complete. 43 laps remain here at Eldora Speedway, the final round of the series. Keep an eye on the 12. of, oh sorry, not 12, the 22, he runs a 12 in the sprint cars, the 22 of Ryan Harris. Lachlan Smith, he's got Jared Ash and Nathan Clark right in behind him. Let's have a look at the battle raging on for 5th and 6th at the moment. See on screen the left in the 911 is Lachlan Smith. Car on screen at the moment is the 25 of Nathan Clark. Inside on the left in the blue, white and black car, in car number 3 is Jared Ash. Right in behind him is his teammate James Rice. Down into 1 and 2 they go, down the back straight away. We are 60% completion of the final night of the series. I'm still your race leader from Berkeley. Harris in 3rd, Smith now. He's got Clark going to the inside in 1 and 2. In fact, they nearly run side by side down the back straight away. It's Clark with the momentum on the low side, but it's Lachlan Smith who's got a lot more momentum on the top side of the racetrack. You see this track starting to go away more and more each lap that these drivers do on the racetrack. In fact, the 2 team cars are battling it out yet again. In fact, 4 of the Triple J guys, they've been split in 2 on the racetrack at the moment. Jared Ash and James Rice battling together side by side almost, and Joel Berkeley and Josh Harm running 1-2 at the front of the field. In the battle raging on between Ash and Rice, in comes the 55 of Marcus Konitska as well. Almost 3 wide if you don't mind. Konitska's not quite there in turns 3 and 4 this time. But he is carrying some speed, and this time he's going to try and run right through the middle. Jared Ash gets into the wall. Only loses 2 spots to Rice and Konitska. Konitska now just tucked in behind James Rice as we complete lap number 68 of the main event. It's a long, grueling 100 laps around Eldora Speedway, and well, what do you know? Battle is on for the race lead, and as I say that, Joel Berkeley decides that he wants to kiss the concrete wall in turns 1 and 2. Don't celebrate just yet, Joel Berkeley. You've still got another 30 laps to run. Well, making more love to the concrete wall is the number 9 of Joel Berkeley. Now, the battle raging on for the minor placing. And that's 3rd place at the moment. Lachlan Smith challenging Ryan Harris. Konitska, as you see on screen, just got past. You got past James Rice in your picture before. So at the back of the screen right now. But Lachlan Smith starting to lose a little bit of momentum here on the 22. Konitska's done a fantastic job. He's took him a little bit to get up to speed, but once he got these late models figured out, he's certainly been able to move forward. Oh, Nathan Clark into the wall in 3 and 4. Smith not going away from Harris right now. This is a battle for 3rd and 4th at the moment. Smith to the inside. Harris work on the outside. Work on the top side of the racetrack. In 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So both corners he's working the high side. And well, that must have been close there for Lachlan Smith and Ryan Harris. Harris has got the momentum on the top side of the racetrack, but it's Harris utilising the low side, trying to find the moisture. And this time, Lachlan Smith runs 3rd after that completion of the 77th lap. 22 to run as Harris got the wall. And now Harris has gone to the low side, tucking in behind the 911 of Lachlan Smith. Oh, Berkeley into the wall yet again, and well, he must have been catching the number 8. Because that gap was a little bit bigger than what it was the last time we checked in on those two drivers. Kanitska inside of the top 5 now. Nathan Clark falling back to 6th. James Rice in 7th. Jared Ash in 8th. 9th is James Robbie. In 10th is Stephen Williams. 11th, Gavin Sadler, who's about to come up to being put a lap down here in the main event as we've completed 81 laps. 19 remain. Berkeley into the wall yet again. Got to be too careful, because if he gets the black and orange meatball flag and he goes down pit lane, that will be the end of his not only race but also season. He will kiss away the championship. So he needs to be careful. He needs to just continue to run smooth lines. Hit his mark. He's just got 17 laps between him and a championship. There can only be one. Well, there can be two. But luck would have to play a very big part in this one. Tell you what, Kanitska over the past probably 4, 5, even 6 weeks, he has had that 55 rolling. I believe he's even picked up a hard charger throughout the season. I think it may have been at either USA or Williams Grove where he picked up one of those hard charger awards. Oh my, look at this for Josh Harm. He's got 3 lap cars to contend with. I guess he just has to take them one by one, make a race-winning move, and with just 13 laps to go, he gets around the 71 of Gavin Sadler. He gets around his teammate, not quite, the 3. In fact, he makes it 3, nearly 4 wide, if you don't mind, on lap 88 of 100 lapper. And Josh Harm, well, you may have just won yourself the race, but will you have won yourself the championship? 3 cars separating first and second. And now we watch Joel Berkeley trying to come through those lap cars. In fact, all lap cars are on the back. 2 of the lap cars are on the low side of the speedway. In fact, Gavin suddenly gets put a lap down by Joel Berkeley. And Joel Berkeley, next car to go a lap down in front of him is his teammate Jared Ash. 10 laps to go. Stephen Williams, another car about to go a lap down from your second place runner of Joel Berkeley. And oh, he got away with that one. And well, could that be the championship? We will find out in 8 laps. What a 100 lapper this has been. James Robbie trying to stay on the lead lap, and in fact Josh Harm gets around him, makes quick work of the number 41. Over the final 6 laps, more likely going to keep switching between first and second just to see how they get through the lap traffic. In fact, Jared Ash, Josh Harm, I believe he's got a clear track in front of him. Yeah, look at that. Look at that shot. Look how much of a clear track he's got in front of him. So this is on board with your second place runner. Oh, gets the wall. That's the five finger salute is out. 5 laps away. Make that 4 as they come across the start finish line. Less than 2 miles to run. In fact, 1.5 miles to go for your race leader, Caliber 8. He's led from the start. He's led all 100 laps here at Eldora. The tip of the green. 2 laps remaining for Josh Harm. Can he finally knock off the number 9 off the top step of the podium? The white flag is out. The final lap of the series comes down to this. It's a big lead for the number 8. He's got a clear track in front. Josh Harm's Berkeley gets into the wall. Into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Lap 100 is complete. And we have a new winner at Eldora. But more importantly, we have a new champion. The Down Under Graphics. The World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Models. The champion is the number 9. But it was Josh Harm to get the victory tonight. I'll go through your full field rundown. So finishing in first, Caliber 8, Josh Harm. Finishing second was the number 9 of Joel Berkeley. Finishing third was the 911 of Lachlan Smith. To get these drivers to park up on the front stretch. And there it is, from right to left. Josh Harm in number 8 wins from Joel Berkeley in the 9 in the middle. Lachlan Smith gets third. Fourth will go to Ryan Harris. Marcus Konieczka finishes in fifth, making himself tonight's Deadhead Hard Charger Award yet again. Nathan Clark comes home in 6th. 7th was James Rice. James Robbie in 8th. 9th was Jared Ash. Stephen Williams round out the top 10 to go back to Gavin Sadler, John Schultz, Brenton Hobson, George Fullerton, Trent Gosley, and Sean O'Hara. So with that being said, we talk to our top 3. And coming home in third place for the final round of the series was Lachlan Smith. Lachlan, congratulations on a third place here tonight.
Thanks, Brett. Yeah, I think that's my best result all season. It was a hard race, but yeah, pretty fun to drive in.
How tough was it for that 100-lapper?
Oh, I got elbowed out, I think, 20 laps in. So I was starting to stress, but yeah, managed to come back and just be consistent and got the P3, so...
It was always going to be a long, tough race. How did you find the track? Was it, obviously it changed quite significantly from start to finish?
Yeah, I was hoping it'd slicken off a bit more, to be honest. My setup was sort of leaning towards that, but yeah, it seemed to hold in. So yeah, pretty happy with the track.
Well done on finishing third in the final round of the series. I'm sure you got some sponsors you want to thank.
Yeah, Factory Cane Australia and Gavin Sadler Racing, and you, Brett, for the broadcasting.
No worries, congratulations on the third place, and I think you may have just gotten either 4th or 5th in the championship as well.
Can't complain with that. See you, Brett.
There we have it, Lachlan Smith coming away with the third place tonight. Coming home in second place, and also your World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Models champion. Congratulations to the driver of the number 9, Joel Burke. Congratulations on a second, but more importantly, congratulations on a World of Outlaws Craftsman championship.
Thanks, bro. I know I wasn't thinking about the championship there. I was just throwing everything I could to try and beat Josh there. But I should have moved down when he moved down, but I just tried running the top, and yeah, obviously it didn't pay off. But hey, I'll take second place and take the championship.
Look, there was multiple times where you sort of introduced yourself to the turn 1 and 2 wall. Was that sort of concerning, knowing that at any stage you could have been given the meatball flag and ruin your chances?
Yes, I was waiting. I was just hoping that I didn't get the meatball, and luckily I didn't. But yeah, so it happened. So yeah, just couldn't keep off the wall in the last 20 laps, as you probably saw.
These final, not final, but the 12 weeks so far. I mean, how tough is it to take in each night, and how tough was it to get a solid result each night?
Oh, the late models are tough because you're doing so many laps each night. tough doing them. So it's just, yeah, got to get through every night. Well, we proved we got through every night, and I think we finished top 3 every night. So consistency paid off.
And how do you feel you've been beaten at Eldora?
Oh, if I was going to be beaten by anyone, I wouldn't be rather being beaten by by anyone else but Josh. He earned it. I think a lot come down to who was leading on that first yo when the first yo flag come out.
And look, you've had a phenomenal series. Congratulations on the championship. I'm sure you got some sponsors you want to thank that made it all happen for you.
Yeah, it's a massive thanks to Triple J Motorsports, down to Graphics and Ash Media and all the team for, the season.
Alright, well done on your championship, and we'll see you back here with the sprintcars to potentially lock up 2 championships in a week.
Hopefully so, Brett.
There we have it. Joel Berkeley coming away in 2nd place, and also the championship. This time it's going to be the roles reversed. Coming home in 2nd place in the championship, but winner of the final round of the series. Josh Arm, congratulations on a grueling race.
Thanks, Brett. Yeah, that was tough. A lot of green flag laps. Really had to work for that one.
Were you keeping an eye on your relative, looking to see how far Joel was and to see if he was making a mistake, or were you kind of just concentrating on hitting your own marks?
Just when he was right on me, I was just concentrating hitting on my own marks, and then I'd have every 5 laps I'd sort of have a glance, and I noticed he fell back quite a bit, so I just kept the head down and kept digging.
Okay, it's been a tough 12 weeks. If I go back and have a look, I think you've picked up 3 wins, maybe even 4 now. I mean, how tough is it to come back, with the series week in, week out, and try and get some good results for you and the team?
Yeah, it is tough, but I really love late models. I love the sedan racing, and they suit me well. I don't really want to race any other model actually.
Actually, I can tell you that looking at the points, you've actually picked up 6. This is your 6th win out of the 12 rounds. You had 1 bad round in round number 3, which essentially has now, you think about it, has cost you the championship. Are you disappointed knowing that, had you had a good round or a good race in round 3, that we could have been talking to you as a champion of the series, or it is what it is?
Yeah, well, the last few weeks, that's what I've been thinking. That one round just ruined it. There was a mistake when there was no yellows on for that round, so that really hurt. When I had an incident in the feature, really couldn't fight back, but I just kept digging, did what I did what I had to do, and Joel was just consistent as ever and tough to beat every week. So thoroughly deserves the series. Well done.
Well, look, you finished with 3 wins in the past 3 feature events here in the late models. Congratulations on not only winning tonight, but also coming away with a 2nd place in the series. It's been a tough 12 weeks. I'm sure you got some sponsors you want to thank.
Yeah, definitely. Just Triple J Motorsports. We just got together to have a bit of fun, and we're leading a few series that we've been competing in, and the other 2 boys are really trying hard and doing well. And Ash Media, down under graphics, lovely girlfriend Jess, and you, Brett, for broadcasting, and Brett and Gav and everyone for running the series. It's been fun.
Well done on 2nd place in the overall series, and we'll see you back Thursday night. We'll see if you can take this one away, take one away from Joel in the sprint cars.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. I'll definitely be trying.
There we have it. Josh Arm coming away with the win here tonight, coming away with a 2nd place in the series. Harris, we'll have a look at the results. He finished 4th. In fact, we might try and get a word with Ryan Harris. No, it looks like he's already gone. So, look, well done to Ryan Harris on finishing 3rd in the series. Thursday night will be the conclusion of the Ash Media Speedway footage, World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series. 7:30 they'll start, come back to the Eldora Speedway. And we've got Joel Berkeley, Josh Arm leading the points in those one. That will conclude the 12-week series that we've had here. This has been the Down Under Graphics World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Series. A big thanks to Gavin Sadler, Brett Gerards, all the admins over at the FKAU Australian Speedway League for a phenomenal series. 12 weeks. Yes, we've only got the 4 tracks. We've visited quite a few tracks a number of times, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. It's been phenomenal racing over the past 12 weeks. We thank all the drivers that turned up to race in, week out. And more importantly, we thank the fans for watching throughout the 12 weeks. It's been a pleasure And on behalf of Wheel TV, the FKAU Australian Speedway League, my name has been Brett Wheel. We'll see you back here for Thursday night, 7:30, for the finale of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series at Eldora.